Hi folks, I was going to talk to you today. It's kind of a business situation as far as vehicles, but it can also be with your personal use. And this is again my opinion, nobody's paying me, and that is on vehicles. Although I might hold $5,000–6,000 in my pocket or many thousands in the bank account at times and other times not, I don't drive fancy trucks, and it's about math. For instance, this truck here is a Dodge. I am not a Dodge proponent. I have driven and I own Dodge, Ford, Chevrolet, GMC. To me, they're all the same. It's like a hammer. You don't want to get a bullseye or a laser on a hammer. So I'm going to tell you that I drive early 90s through say 98, 97 trucks because they have got the throttle body injection or some kind of fuel injection, and they have a lot of very dependable features. So that's why I picked those. I can work on them. I can change the ECU or the brain. I can fix most problems by just a little bit of forum research online, and I get the same deduction that a fancy trucks does when it comes to mileage deductions. And for instance, I paid $660 for this truck, and I tried to convince the guy to stay with it. So he had $60 a week payments, $660. I said, look, I tried to get him to keep it. So I just made the payments through him. I just gave him the money. I could have paid it off to try to get him to change his mind, like, hey, I'll pay you back, but he didn't. And since that time, I've driven it almost 4 years. His family's went through 20. I've been counting because they rent from me. And he did work for me. 20 vehicles in the time that I've driven this. Now, this is gonna throw everybody for a jump. How much maintenance I do. If something is breaking, I try to fix it. We just fixed the radiator hose, changed radiators, I've changed water pumps along the way. Yes, there are things that break. Guess what they do on new vehicles too. So, I'm going to tell you that any vehicle that you drive is going to require things to be fixed. Every last one. Doesn't matter what the brand is. The difference is, whenever I pull up to a house, nobody's expecting me to have to make enough money to pay for my $40,000, $30,000 truck. This is a $660 truck. Now I work on big fancy houses in really fancy neighborhoods. Yeah, they might look down on me a little bit, but once they know me, they know that I'm going to get the job done. Doesn't matter what I'm driving. If you got a rusty hammer, does that mean you need to go out and polish it? Does it drive a nail in better? Or the screw gun's got dirt on, does it mean it doesn't work? No. So what I'm going to tell you is, my personal opinion is, you don't need to go to the new vehicles. You can stay with the older ones, and you can work on those. From like the most dependable ones are from 91 through 97. Just about any brand pickup. I don't like anything with aluminum heads, because if you overheat them, they warp. You can replace the parts, pull them out yourself, do it yourself. So I'm going to tell you, stay with something a little older if you want to save money. You're going to get the same deduction if you're in business per mile. Alright, to tell you another little secret, with these old vehicles, this has been on like 4 vehicles that have taken over 400,000 miles. This one's 277,000. One thing I don't do is change the oil. And I know everybody says change your oil every 3,000 miles, every 2,000 miles. Okay. Technically, these older vehicles, they leak oil or they burn it a little bit. So you're changing it. It's changing. The filter may not be changed. And I think on this one, because they gave me a filter with buying the oil, and the oil was cheaper with the filter than it was with anything else, I might have changed the filter one time on this. So, I don't live very far down a dirt road. The mobile home park that I'm buying doesn't have pavement right up don't change the air filter because there isn't one. Now, dust getting in, if you live on a real dusty road, you drive a lot of dusty roads, dust getting in will cause that motor to wear. I just did an experiment on this one. Whenever the filter got dirty after I got it from the other guy, I said, leave that thing out. Of course, it leaves a check engine light. Some of your newer vehicles just go into limp mode if you take the filter out. But I don't have a filter in this one. And it's not smoking. Honestly, it has more to do with consistency and the type of vehicles. I think from the early 90s to the late 90s, all the trucks, they were making better trucks. I think because they were threatened by Japanese manufacturers. So I don't drive anything fancy, and I don't drive anything that requires unusual amount of maintenance. And when it comes to automatic transmissions, just a little tip: if you've ever overheated your vehicle, don't change your oil on your transmission ever. I don't care if you're driving a brand new car. If you've overheated it, or if you don't know if it's been overheated, do not let them change the oil on your automatic transmission, because it will start slipping. I mean, it will. I was talking to somebody the day before yesterday about that, and I'm telling you from experience, don't change the automatic transmission fluid. Keep the oil, change the filter. Do not use new oil. It will break down all those parts, and it will start slipping. Now, do I use any specific oil? No, there's nobody paying me to say that, obviously. I don't use anything fancy, because like high mileage oil or things like that, because it doesn't seem to be anything but a catch-all, a way to catch your money. So when it comes to tires, I have about 400 or 500 tires and 2 tire machines and 2 balancers, which I don't bother to balance because this is a rough ride no matter what. All my trucks, I usually put air shocks on them, because if I don't, 1,500 pounds of tools in the back will cause it to bottom out all the time. I don't particularly pick matched tires. Be neat, be nice probably, but here's what will happen. I'll go some dirt road and a piece of gravel will slam up inside the tire and cut one of those tires. And guess what? I don't have a match set anymore. So I end up just driving. I try to keep them all the same size on the rear end, and usually try to keep them on the same size front to back. Right now, the ones in the front are taller than the ones in the back. We're fixing to change them. It's just the way it worked out. They're not, something I planned. So as far as maintenance, you see something that's getting ready to break, you don't want to be on the side of the road. You fix it. I recommend that if you have 2 drivers, a husband and wife, or 2 guys, and you split them up in a business, you have 3 vehicles, at least 3. You have one backup for when one vehicle breaks, you got another. If you just got 1 driver, guess what? 2 vehicles. 2. If you get something broke down, you got something to back up, and you can drive it until you get the other vehicle going. So you're like, hey, I can't afford that with new vehicles. Well, there's your part of your math why I don't drive new vehicles. But ultimately, I know of a family that was renting from me, bought a brand new Dodge van, and that thing was in the shop in the first year probably 8 times. Now, I don't think it's just Dodge, because it happens with Ford and Chevrolet too. They're all under warranty, and they got all these things that go out. They had a transmission that was cracked. It started leaking oil real bad. And so that was after 6 months or 8 months of driving it. It had a cracked transmission. I really boiled it down to math. Maybe if I'm going on a long trip, I might rent a car. I might buy a nicer car for my wife to drive across the country or something, but I don't really like her to drive across the country. But either way, driving around in the local area, I carry 2 bags of tools. They're just mechanic tools, and I have other trucks to back up. I have 26 trucks right now. I'll probably be driving a box van next. No guarantees, but probably will. So I buy air conditioners in the wintertime. I buy heaters in the summertime. I buy them used. Okay? I buy my... James, you're not keeping an eye on the stuff in the back. You didn't do it. Anyway, I buy my winter clothes in the summertime at thrift stores, like jumpsuits and coveralls. I buy them in the winter, in the summertime. And there, nobody's buying them. They're like, why are you buying a big, heavy canvas coat? Because it's cheaper. Save a lot of money. Buy electric heaters for people that say, hey, I've got a really cold spot in my house. Like, here's a heater, and I bought it for $3. Yes, I mean, so you buy your air conditioners in the dead of the winter. You'll see them at junk stores. You buy your clothes. And say, I wear out these shirts all the time, so if my wife sees a spot on them, she just throws them away. And I used to use them for rags when I did more mechanicking. So it's just really basically math. If you break it down, it's math. There's no way you're going to be able to argue with me. Say if you say, oh, well, I get to write off the full value over a 5-year depreciation. So you go and you buy a $40,000 utility bed truck, and you got the payments, you make the interest, and you do all that stuff. Then you appreciate the whole value of $40,000 over 5 years. That's a lot of tax deduction. You got to have enough profit to need that kind of tax deduction. But guess what? When you trade that truck in to get another one, so you can get the whole deduction again, say now it's worth $20,000. It's probably worth more, but say $20,000. When you trade it in and the value of that goes toward the new trade-in, that's called capital gains, because you done deducted the whole amount. Guess what? You're paying taxes on that capital gains. So it's all math. Figure out what you guys can use of what I do, but this is what I've been doing for a long, long time. Bye.